What's up, everybody? Welcome back to that Nightmare Rideshare podcast. If you're a listener, normal listener, thank you for being here. If you're a new listener, thank you for being here. Fuck it. Thank you for everybody for being here right now, listening to my voice. I don't know why I pronounce that so weird. Whatever. Anyway, so you might be wondering what this podcast is about. If I maybe you read the title and maybe I titled it something smart or just something stupid, or maybe you read the description. But let me go ahead and tell you what the fuck I wanted this podcast episode to be about. So basically, I was thinking about it, and I wanted to originally talk about a lot of the stuff that happened this weekend. Had a lot of shitty passengers, and had a few weird experiences, some funny experiences, and obviously that carried on until today. And I was gonna sprinkle in some of those stories along with older ones and everything, but there's something that I saw today that kind of changed my mind. So all weekend I was in let's just say not the best mood. I was in pain. I was tired. I wanted to go home, but I couldn't. Gotta pay bills and shit. So I basically worked as much as I could, but the time that I was working wasn't great, right? And I try not to show that to passengers, and I try to, I genuinely try, even if I'm having the worst fucking day ever, I genuinely try to be positive and smile to people and not overdo it to where it's a little creepy. I try to just be polite all the time, right? And I know that my mood has to show sometimes. Everybody can't hide shit. You can tell when something's bothering somebody if you know what to look out for, right? And I'm pretty sure I responded some weird way at first to some things, and I caught myself. I can't think of exactly what the fuck it was, but I know that happened a few times where I was just like, oh, I'm sorry the way I responded, blah blah, whatever, blah blah. But anyway, I basically was in that mood today too. I was dealing with shit. Had some, actually the first half of the day was good. First half of the day was amazing. I had amazing passengers, really polite, kind people that honestly helped a lot. And then I started having a streak of, not so great passengers that we'll probably get into it in another episode. But I was on a ride with one of the bad passengers, and I was driving down the street. I get to the stoplight, right? I'm at this red light. I'm probably about the third car. And I look over to the right, and I see this old guy in one of those little motorized scooters, and he's just there. And I can't tell what he's doing at first. And then the car in the lane next to me moved a little bit up, so I was able to see, and I was able to see kind of. Dude, basically, he was just in the crosswalk that was right in front of me, and he had his cane in one hand, and he was reaching for something. I couldn't fucking tell what he was doing. And being in LA, it's like it's not uncommon for you to fucking see somebody in like a wheelchair or motorized scooter or something like that that's just tripping out, doing something weird, and you're just kind of like, okay, whatever. But this guy was doing something. I couldn't fucking tell. And then I look to my left, and I see this Lexus pull up. And this lady just puts on her hazards, jumps out, runs over, and she picks up this hat and she gives it to him. Turns out this dude was like, he had dropped his baseball hat, his cap, and I guess he couldn't get out of his motorized scooter, and he was just trying to get it with his cane. Nobody fucking helped, including myself. And this lady just decided to get out of her car, run over. Totally risking the fact that people can get behind her, honk, yell, do this, all that bullshit. Or even a cop could like come by, be an asshole, and be like, get the fuck back in your car. Or some shit. I don't know. But I just thought that was fucking amazing. Because of the fact that it's not, it's kind of sad to say, but it's not normal for people to be kind to each other in our society. It's not some normal shit that happens. It's not like every day you're like, oh yeah, I saw some, I saw some people being kind to each other, whatever. Nah, most of the time, what gets emphasized at least is the negativity. Damn, I can't pronounce right now. I can't English. Yeah, what mainly gets, shit, everything's going right now, whatever, fuck it. We're gonna keep rolling with it. What gets emphasized is the negativity. And it's like, you can see videos of people getting knocked out, people getting beaten up. You see these fucked up videos and you would see them everywhere and they go fucking viral. Everything goes up like crazy, but it's not too fucking often that you see something positive. Like you see something genuinely positive. Shit, you don't even need to see it on social media. It's not too fucking frequently that you see some just random act of kindness on the street. And being somebody that drives around LA all the fucking time, I can genuinely tell you, it's not that fucking frequent that I get to see some shit that makes me go, wow, that was dope. And what I saw today was, and honestly, it really made me smile, and it, I don't know, it just made me feel good. I know I was a piece of shit and I was in my car and everything, and I technically didn't do shit or whatever, but I saw that and I was just happy that somebody was kind to another person. And hopefully other people that saw it like affected them, and maybe they were kind to somebody else as well. 'Cause fuck, like that. If that lady hadn't done that, this podcast would be completely different. I've been bitching, talking about assholes, talking about negative experiences, and I probably would have sprinkled in some funny ones as well, but mainly talking about negative ones, because I've had a lot of them this past weekend. Maybe might relate to my perspective on everything because of my mood, but let's not get into that right now. But the thing is that she did it. And I'm here talking about this. And it's pretty awesome when you get to see it. And so that's why I wanted to kind of talk about some positive experiences, some shit that I've seen, some amazing passengers that I've had, because it's not, like I said, it's not frequent that you see some kind shit that's on the street, and it's not too frequent that you get some amazing passengers that really help change your perspective on everything, help you fucking view life differently, help you fucking just help pick up your mood when you're feeling like really down because of some shit, man. Like it's crazy. It's crazy how some simple words that somebody can say, some simple thing that somebody can do can completely change somebody. It's fucking amazing. And the crazy thing is that some simple shit, like the simple shit that lady did today, picking up that hat, she might just be the type of person that does that shit. Does that kind of shit all the fucking time. So she might not even think about it. But I'll always be able to think back to it. I will always be able to fucking think about the time that I fucking saw her do that. Why? Because it affected me. Because it's not something that's normal for me to see. And that's how it is with some passengers sometimes. You know? Sometimes it's just like, wow. That really was amazing. And for them, it was just another conversation, another ride, another driver. And that's the crazy thing about life sometimes. A lot of shit that doesn't mean anything to everybody can mean the world to you. If that makes sense. But yeah, that got me thinking. And I don't remember if I talked about this yet, but a couple weeks ago, I was driving, pulled off the freeway, and again, I'm in a lane of cars at a stoplight, and I see this lady, and she's on the corner, and she has these like really beat up clothes, and in her hand she has this like jacked up McDonald's cup that looks like she probably picked it up from the side of the road. Because in LA, if you're driving down the streets, a lot of time you see trash and shit on the side of the road, squish cups. That's kind of how this cup looked. And she was there, and she was asking for money. And you know, they're the people that ask for money, and they're really trying to get some help or trying to get some money. They're trying to make eye contact with everybody, because most people, they look away. They try not to fucking make eye contact. And they're those people that do that. They're the people that walk up and down. They make a genuine effort. And then there are the people that look like they really need help and look like it's painful for them to ask. And that's kind of how this lady looked, to be honest. She was standing there, and her body language was completely... Oh, shit. She was like completely curled up, basically. She's standing, you know, shoulders hunched forward, hands barely up with the cup, not even raised high, just raising up to where she's like has her elbow bent, and she's right there, and she's just looking down, basically at her feet, head tilted sideways, and she's not necessarily trying to look sad, but it looked like she was embarrassed to be there. And all of a sudden, the Silverado that's in front of me, he just taps on his horn, you know, catches my attention, and obviously catches hers and probably everybody else around. But dude taps on his horn to try to get her to look up. Then he waves her over. She comes over to the door, looking not eager, not fucking happy, not any of those. She still had the same body language. Like she fucking just walked over, looking really shy. Kind of like, how can I explain it? Like maybe this, like a shy kid trying to get introduced to like a new group of friends or some shit. Or like a shy new kid fucking coming into school, like really looked embarrassed and looked like she was hesitant to walk over. Right? So she gets over to this truck, and I could see through the back window. And the dude, he tells something to the girl that's sitting in the front seat, and you see her rustling through something, and I'm thinking, oh, he probably gonna give her money, right? Probably gonna hand her some bills, whatever, then go on with his day, because that fucking happens. But she's wrestling through some stuff, and then all of a sudden I see her pick up what looks to be like a grocery bag and reaches in it and pulls out this tub of Oreo cookie ice cream. She pulls out this tub of Oreo cookie ice cream, and he gives it to her. And at this point, this lady is completely shocked. She's so fucking shocked. Like she's stunned. Like she had no reaction. She was just fucking in shock. And the dude taps on the girl's shoulder again, and she's wrestling through some other shit, and she fucking pulls out, I guess, a spoon, because he gives it to her, and obviously I saw it was a spoon, but pulls out a spoon, gives it to her. So I don't know if this dude was planning on doing that, but it obviously, I would think that if he was planning on doing that, he would have had it ready already, but it looked probably like he's probably honestly coming from the fucking grocery store. Had a tub of ice cream, saw her. It was fucking hot as fuck outside that day. And he just gave it to her. And the look on her face. Damn, the look on her fucking face, man. This tub of ice cream that's maybe $10. Maybe. It was like the world to her. She looked like she just won the lottery. She literally started jumping up and fucking down, going crazy. Dude, the smile on her fucking face, man. It was amazing to see. It really was. And damn, man, I can't help but, as cheesy as it sounds, I can't help but get a little emotional just thinking about that shit, man. Because it's like, damn, if you have a roof over your head and you're able to survive, maybe you don't have a lot of money. Maybe you can't fucking afford some new fucking Jordans or new fucking outfits all the time. Or maybe you fucking are just getting by. But even if you're just getting by, you can spare a few bucks here and there, most likely. Excuse me. You can spare most likely a few dollars just to get something simple. And that something simple might be a tub of ice cream. You might take it for granted like it's nothing. But damn, to this one person, that tub of ice cream was like the world. It was like winning the lottery that day. And this guy wasn't doing it for fucking social media. He wasn't trying to take a picture. He wasn't trying to take video. This wasn't a stunt. He might not even tell anybody ever. The dude just did it. And for me, that means a whole fucking lot. Because, like I said, you don't see that. You don't. And the times that you do, it's just amazing because it gives you that faith in humanity again. Especially in a time where it feels like everybody's attacking everybody for everything. And it's just like, my opinion is the most important and yours doesn't matter. And it's a bickering and arguing over fucking stupid shit a lot of times. I know sometimes it's important stuff, but realistically, it's important. It's more important to fucking care about your fellow human than to fucking be a piece of shit. It really is. And to this guy that fucking did that, he just did it. Didn't expect a trophy, didn't expect a bunch of likes, didn't expect to get shared. Probably didn't expect for anybody to even notice. But he did it. And that's fucking amazing. Just like the lady today that jumped out of her car just to help the guy get a hat. Like, damn, man. Those acts of kindness are just fucking awesome. They really are. And I fucking hope people do that shit. Oh, excuse me. Shit. I hope more people do that shit. If you're listening to this, maybe you can fucking do something kind for somebody today. I mean, you don't necessarily have to go out, buy some ice cream, give it to somebody, jump out of your car to try to help everybody out. No. Just try to be a little more kind to somebody today. Just try. And if it's the end of your day, maybe try tomorrow. You know, maybe you go in and you say, oh, you're going to work, maybe. And you say, oh, hi. Greeting people. But maybe tomorrow you say, hey, good morning. How are you doing today? No, honestly, how are you doing? And you actually genuinely care about what the other person says. And maybe they're not having a good day. Maybe you help them out with something. You know, maybe they're like, oh, you know, my kid got in trouble in school. I'm stressed. And you give them advice. You're like, don't worry about it. Blah, blah, blah. You know, maybe you spread some kindness that way. But hopefully you're able to do something like that. Because honestly, little acts of kindness can go such a fucking far way. It's so crazy how the domino effect happens where, so let's say, like today, I'm having a bad day. Get in my car, start driving. I'm like, fuck. I'm pissed. A passenger gets in my car. They're happy as shit. They help me feel better. Because how positive they are, how kind they are, what they say, whatever. They help me feel better. So then I do that for somebody else. And then that person gets out of my car and they go into their job and they do that for somebody else. And it keeps having a chain reaction. The fucking next person to the next person. And eventually your one simple, stupid act of kindness can have a way bigger reaction than you would have thought your simple act of kindness could have had. Shit. Fuck, excuse me. But yeah. Maybe. Because yeah, it's amazing when fucking people do some shit that's nice. And say shit that's nice. Like I remember this guy, I was going through a really hard time, dealing with a lot of a lot of shit. And fuck, when was this? I want to say this was like a year ago, a year and change maybe, or maybe even a little longer than that, maybe a little less, but it was definitely not recent. And I remember the dude gets in the car, and he's this Orthodox Jewish guy, so he's in full Orthodox Jewish attire. And I remember it was hot as fuck that day, so first thing I think is like, damn, dude, you must be hot as shit right now. I'm so glad I have the AC blasting right now. The dude gets in my car. I say, hey, I greet him, hey, how are you doing? And most of the time I say the same shit. If they respond, they're like, oh, I'm doing good, how are you doing? Most of the time I say I'm doing alright myself, thank you for asking. Or I just say I'm doing alright myself. And I think I said something that day somewhat similar. Maybe I said I was fine that day. Whatever. And I remember saying that, and then this guy, he's just like, hold on. Wait, why are you just doing alright? Why are you just fine today? And I'm like taken back by it, because it's not too frequently where people genuinely care or pay attention. A lot of people don't even pay attention. They just say shit without thinking about it. That's why you ask how they're doing, they say they're fine, they ask how you're doing, and then 5 minutes later they ask how you're doing. People don't pay attention to shit. So this guy, he genuinely asks, and I'm kind of shocked. He genuinely cares, or seems like he cares too. I'm like, what? And he's just like, yeah, don't you want to be doing good? He's like, don't you want to be happy today? He's like, come on, the sun's out, it's an amazing day, you're in Los Angeles, in an amazing place where you get to wake up, think what you want to think, say what you want to say, and be who you want to be. And he said, even if you're in a spot where you aren't able to be who you want to be, you're at least able to try. And at the time, I was dealing with so much shit, and that really fucking got to me, man. That really, really got to me. I'm just like, what the fuck? Who the fuck is this guy? And then all of a sudden, he's just like, I apologize, but I really have to take this call. And I'm just like, okay. The dude fucking answers the call, literally talks somebody down from committing suicide while I'm in the car. And I can hear it. He has, I can't remember if he had it on speaker, if his phone was just super loud, but anytime somebody's in the car and they get on the phone, and if it's their own ride, then I turn off the music. Just to be polite, and I could fucking hear it. He had his friend that was on the phone, and his friend was gonna attempt to commit suicide again, and he called him because that's what he promised to do if he was ever in that moment again. And damn, dude talked him down. He gets off the phone. After he talks him down, he gets him to say, hey, you know what, calm down, I want you to be okay, I'm gonna call you in about 20 minutes again. Then after that, we'll see how you're doing, and then I'll call you again in an hour, and then in another hour, and another hour, and we'll keep doing that all day until we get to tomorrow, okay? And his friend says, okay. And then he tells him, he's like, you haven't eaten today, huh? And his friend's like, no. He's like, look, I want you to get some food together in your kitchen. If you don't have any food, I'll Venmo you some money and you can order something. If you can't get yourself to do that, I'll order you some delivery to get to your place. But I want you to eat something because you're going to make it through today. I'm just listening to this guy. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? Who the fuck is this guy? And he gets off the phone. Turns out his friend is suffering from withdrawals because he's had like a shitty life and he's had a bunch of bullshit and he got addicted to drugs because of the fact that he was using them to self-medicate and all this shit. And he just gets off the phone and tells me all this. And then he tells me, look, I'm not saying that what you're going through is any less than what my friend is going through right now. I'm not saying that what you're going through is not important or is not something major that happened in your life. And he's like, what I'm telling you is that regardless of how intense whatever it was that happened and how it affected you, you have to realize that today is a new day and you gotta, what the fuck did he say? He's like, you gotta fucking, shit. He's like, today is a new day and you gotta push forward or some shit like that. And I was just like, damn, dude. Like, what the fuck? Like, who the fuck did I just pick up? And he's telling me all this, and I'm suddenly happy as fuck that this ride is like 40 minutes. And he's just telling me about being positive, and I'm able to kind of share a little bit of what's going on, but not completely. And he's just like, look, blah, blah, blah. Even though that happened, blah, blah, blah. All this stuff. And he's just basically telling me to be positive. And his point was that even though something bad can happen to you, you can still make something of yourself. You can still do something with yourself, and you can still move past it. You know, you can be having a great day and have 100 bad days behind you. But the point is that today you're having a great day. And that's what to focus on. Focus on the fact that you can change the moment. You can change right now. You can change what's happening right now. You're not going to be able to go back and change all the shit from the past. You're not going to be able to go and correct mistakes. Go back and fix any problems that you had. Even if you know how to fix them now. All you can do is just move forward and go from where you're at today and try to make the best of everything. Because if you do that, then tomorrow is going to be a good day. And he's telling me all this. And I'm thinking that, damn, this dude has to be like a motivational speaker, right? This has to be like some majorly fucking positive guy, some Tony Robbins-esque dude that's doing something to help people. It turns out this guy's an investor. And he started investing in the cannabis industry recently. Ever since it became recreationally legal. Right before it became recreationally legal, he was kind of dipping his toe in, he said. And then he ended up kind of diving full force. And I'm just like, dude, wait, what? He's like, yeah, I don't smoke myself. I'm very religious, blah, 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 all this stuff. And he's just like, I don't judge people that smoke, though. I don't judge people. I know that some people use certain aspects of the plant as medicine or as different things like clothing and stuff. And he's just like, look, it's going to be there. And it's helping some people. So why not invest in it and help push that? Something to that nature is what he said. And I'm just like, damn. This dude, what? How can this guy just be some investor guy? And be somebody that can be so motivational and so amazing? Because, dude, I think about that guy to this day. I think about him. Not in a weird way. not in some creepy shit. But in damn, this guy really said something that in a moment of need, in a moment of me just feeling completely like shit, where nobody could truly see that I was going through shit, this guy paid a little bit extra attention. And this guy completely helped me deal with a lot of shit. Because I'm not going to lie, I'm dealing with some shit now. I think about a lot of what this dude said. Because damn, that shit was... it's good shit. It really is good advice. And it really does help and put a lot of things in perspective. And the thing is, it had been a while since I had somebody do that in my car. It really had. I think the time before that somebody had done something this wasn't even fucking advice or something. I think that this guy was the first time anybody that gave me fucking straight advice for me specifically to help me out directly. But as far as somebody that's changing my perspective on things and helping out, it had been a while. I'm not gonna lie, it had been a while. Before that, probably another year. These were like when I first started driving. I had 2 rides that were relatively close to each other, probably within a few months of each other. And these rides really fucked with the way I saw things. So the most recent one was this guy that happened to be going blind. And the reason was because apparently he had been in the military. And he was on deployment, and on one of the helicopters back or some shit, they got attacked. Basically, a bullet ended up piercing the helicopter, going through his helmet, and getting lodged in the side of his skull. And they tried to remove all of it, but they couldn't. And it caused an infection that made him go blind in one of his eyes. Can't remember if it was his right or his left, but I remember it was one of his eyes. And unfortunately, the doc said, maybe we might be able to contain it to this eye, hopefully, but it's not looking promising. So slowly, day by day, this guy started noticing in his one eye that he was able to see that he was starting to see less and less every single day. He would wake up and be like, what the fuck is going on? It was kind of like driving a car, and every single day your windshield gets dirtier and dirtier, and eventually you're not going to be able to see shit, right? Well, this dude obviously after that got released from the military. I forget what the fuck that's called, but he ends up going back home, and now he has to deal with that and go with that and go through that. And the crazy thing is that even though he had to go through that, even though this guy had to deal with all this shit, he was so fucking positive. So fucking positive. This guy was happy as shit. I cannot fucking tell you how fucking happy this was. Or I can't express to you how happy this guy was. Because he was just super fucking happy. It was not like that fake happy or that overly happy that some people are. This was like a genuine happiness. A genuine guy basically being just fucking happy. Just fucking happy. And I'm just like, dude, how are you so happy right now? I mean, I don't want to rain on your parade, and I don't want you to be depressed about any of this, but how does this not affect you? And he's like, it does. It obviously does. I would lie to you if I said it didn't. And he said, and this is not the only thing I deal with. He's just like, when it comes to holidays like the 4th of July and stuff, I have to be sedated. Because I guess loud bangs give him flashbacks. And according to him, one time he actually went through a wall. I didn't ask the specifics. He just told me he went through a wall. And since then, he's had to be sedated. Every holiday where they expect fireworks to go off. And he said it's hard for him because the night terrors. And the fact that he can no longer open his eyes after the nightmare and see that he's no longer in the nightmare. He has to live that nightmare, wake up to darkness, and tell himself he's not in the nightmare anymore. And I'm just listening to this, and I'm just like, dude, what? Wait, what? How the fuck do you have a smile on your face right now, dude? I would be crying like shit, bro. Like, I don't know what the fuck I'd be doing, to be honest. And he's like, dude, look, you're not gonna be able to change anything. I can't change anything. He's like, I can't take this fucking bullet out of my head. He's like, the doctors can't even fix me, and I'm not as smart as them. He's like, so all I can do is just be positive about it. The thing that helped him, though, was the fact that he had a fiance, and he had a fiance before he went out, or when he was in the military, and when he got deployed and everything. She helped him out a lot, and I guess they both have a good sense of humor, so she helped him not feel sorry for himself, which was odd at first to hear. And I was just like, what do you mean, not feel sorry for yourself? And he's just like, well, she fucks with me. And I'm just like, what? What do you mean? And he's just like, well, she fucks with me. She, he's like if I'm sitting down somewhere and I have a cup and I have it like on the coffee table or something, she'll move it. And I'm just like what? And he's just like, yeah, in order to get around, you gotta know where everything's at. Obviously, if you're blind, you're not gonna be able to just be like, oh yeah, you know what, let me just put shit wherever the fuck. You gotta have everything in a specific place, especially, you know, stuff that you're gonna need access, you know, in the moment. And so this guy, he tells me that, damn, what the fuck is that noise? Sorry. Anyway, he tells me that he's like, yeah, my wife fucks with me, and I'll sit down and I have a cup of water, and then she moves it. I try to go reach for the cup of water, and I'm like, fuck, where the fuck is it? And he's just like, then I realize, and I have to call my wife's name, and she starts laughing at me, and then I start laughing. I'm just like, damn, dude, your wife fucks with you like that, and that makes you feel good about your situation. And he's just like, yeah, it does, because it makes me feel normal. I'm like, what? And he's just like, yeah, most people, they hear my story and they kind of do what you're doing in a sense, but they do it worse. I'm like, what? And he's just like, yeah, you're talking to me like a normal person and you care to kind of know what's going on with me. And he's just like, but normally people don't care to know. He tells me that people hear his story and they just feel bad for him and they want to do everything for him and want to treat him like a little kid, but they don't treat him like a person anymore. They don't joke around with him. Like, if you have good friends, you guys mess with each other. Most likely. Most people that have good friends, they fuck around with each other. They make jokes about each other or whatever the fuck. But nobody does that with him anymore. Or at least most people don't. A lot of people don't. But his wife does. So that really helped him out. And he talks about his dogs and how his dogs help a lot and shit. And I'm just like, are they going to be like your seeing eye dogs or anything? He's just like, nah. I'm like, what do you mean? Why can't you have a seeing eye dog? I'm like, wouldn't that help you a lot with a lot of things? And he's just like, yeah, it would. But I'm really bad at it. I'm like, what do you mean? He's just like, you're not supposed to just pet your seeing eye dog and just fuck around with them. He's just like, I can't help it. If I have a dog next to me, I have to fuck with them. I'm just like, what? And he's like, yeah, I can't help it. I give them too much affection when they shouldn't have affection, and that ruins their training. He's like, I already looked into it. It's too late. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm just like, damn, dude, you're fucking crazy. But he's just like, yeah, I can't do it. I'm like, damn, dude. So this guy really didn't. I mean, he really wasn't trying to change my perspective on anything. He genuinely was just telling me his story. He was telling me his experience, his life experience, what he was going through and everything. And that fucking changed a lot of shit for me. That genuinely changed a lot of shit for me. I was just like, whoa, this guy can be going through all this shit and not fucking feel bad for himself. He can look past it and strive for feeling what he considers normal. To not be treated like a victim, to not be treated in such a way that you feel like a little kid, but to be treated like you're a fucking adult. You're a fucking adult. That shit got to me. And yeah, that shit really got to me. And it really helps with my perspective. I obviously don't think about this guy as much as I thought about the other guy, or as much as I think about the other guy, about what he said, because it wasn't advice directly, but there are times where I'm just, some shit happens, man. Shit happens in life. Bullshit happens. Everybody deals with shit. And I feel bad for myself, and I'm just like, fuck. I'm like, this fucking sucks. But I have to think about it. I'm just like, dude, this fucking guy that was in the military got shot in the fucking head, went blind immediately, basically, and is slowly going blind day to day, and probably fucking, because it's been a while since I've seen him, he's probably completely blind by now. Hopefully not. Hopefully they fucking reversed it, or hopefully they stopped it, or hopefully fucking, I don't know, something. But somebody going through that cannot feel bad for themselves. Then what the fuck is wrong with me? Right? And that really gets to me, man. That really fucking gets to me. Thinking about all that shit. Thinking about how somebody without vision and their perspective on shit. And oddly enough, that's similar to the other passenger I was thinking about. That really kind of, in a way, gave me faith in humanity in like a different aspect. It was this lady, this older lady. I had picked her up from this, I think it was some hospital or some clinic or some shit. And dude, this fucking lady was fucking hilarious. Had me laughing like a motherfucker. And I don't normally laugh at that fucking passenger's bullshit jokes. I might do a slight chuckle or like, yeah, like a little smile, like, your joke is shit, like whatever. But dude, this lady had me laughing. She had me dying laughing. Like so much, dude. I remember I was fucking laughing. Like really, really laughing. And I'm just like, who the fuck is this lady? Because all I see when she gets in is that this nurse had to help her in the car. And she sets her in. And all I see is this lady with like some shades on and what looks like some shit on her eyes, like some patches things on her eyes, but you can't really see much because of the shades, how big they were. And after that, we were driving and she just started talking to me, and she's just cracking jokes and shit. And eventually I asked her what was going on or everything. It turns out she had some sort of eye surgery, and she wasn't gonna be able to see for a little while, basically. So she had these patches, and she said she could only make out some minor shapes, I think she said. And I'm just like, whoa, that's crazy. And I'm just like, wait, so when I get you to your place, how are you going to be able to do anything? Like anything at all? And she's just like, don't worry, I have before I had this operation, I made sure to do everything appropriately. She's like, I set up strings in my house. I'm like, strings? I'm like, you don't have anybody to help you? And she's like, no. She's like, unfortunately, I've outlived friends and family. And she says she doesn't have anybody in her life really anymore. And I'm just like, what? Because this is an old lady, like a super old lady. And she's like, I don't really have any friends or family, anybody that can help me and in this situation. She's like, so I had to figure it out myself. She's like, I set up strings in my house, going from the door to different things, one going to the bathroom, one going to my room, one going to the kitchen and everything. And she's like, from there, I'm able to basically figure everything out. And from there, I'm able to move around without the strings. I'm like, well, is this the first time that you've done it? She's like, no, this is the second part of the operation. She's like, the first time I had to do that, and then I went back, and this was the second time, blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, whoa, this is crazy. Because I'm just thinking, I'm like, when I get to this old lady's place, am I going to have to walk her in and all this shit? And she's like, no, I just need you to help me with two things. To get to my door and to basically show me where the door handle's at so she can get the keys and everything. And I'm just like, okay. I'm like, okay, this is really weird. I'm like, well, I think I had said something. Either I said something or she said something. Obviously, it was only one of us that said something, but somehow it got brought up about trusting the driver and trusting me. And I remember I was just like, thanks for having trust in me. And she's just like, oh yeah, I know. She said that she told the nurses, like, hey, you know, I'm gonna get a ride. I need you to order it for me because I can't see what I'm doing on my phone. She's like, order it for me. And the nurses are like, you don't have anybody to pick you up or anything? And then they're like, she's like, no. And she told them the same thing that she told me. She's like, I have outlived everybody and I need a ride. So can you just do me a favor and just order the ride for me, please? She's like, here's my phone, whatever. And they're like, okay. And I'm just like, damn. I'm like, that's pretty dope. Well, I'm glad you trust me and everything, because there's a lot of people that, you know, aren't trusting people that can fucking see, right? And she's just like, oh yeah, don't worry, I haven't had bad experiences, luckily. She's like, everybody that's been here has been really polite and kind. I'm just like, what? And she's like, yeah. She's like, yeah, everybody's been super kind, just like the last driver from the first operation. She said the first operation guy, she's like, I wasn't even able to see his face until weeks later. And then obviously the second part of the surgery happened again, and she's like, so the same thing's gonna happen with you. I'm not gonna be able to see your face until weeks later. And I'm just like, oh shit. Yeah, that's true, huh? And she's like, yeah. And that's fine with me. She's like, I trust you. I'm just like, well, I appreciate it and everything. But yeah, that's pretty amazing that you're able to do that. Whatever. I remember I forget how I worded it, but it was something like that. Something to that effect. And she goes, well, yeah, I'm going to trust you guys, because if I don't, then who will? And I'm just like, wow. This lady has balls. This lady is a fucking gangster. She's dope. And I thought that was amazing. And I don't know. I honestly think about her a lot. But not in like a fucking thing, like trusting humanity and all this bullshit type thing. More into the effect of, if somebody doesn't look like they're trusting of me and doesn't act very trusting, I just think about her and I kind of laugh to myself, and I'm just like, dude, you're able to see the car. You're able to see the license plate. You're able to see the color of the car. You're able to see me, the driver. You're able to fucking see everything that you need to see, including the app that shows your GPS location in the car. And you're still not trusting that you're in the right car. You're still not trusting that you're going to be safe. And this old ass lady, that's blind as shit, that can barely make out shapes, is trusting as fuck. And that really does get to me. That really does get to me sometimes, and I think about that shit, and I'm just like, damn. I don't know why. I just think I do know why. Because it's fucking hilarious. That's why. It's fucking hilarious how trusting somebody can be of a system, I guess. And ride sharing is a system. It really is. It's not a system that's perfect. I'm gonna be completely honest. It's not a system that's perfect. Every fucking company out there is gonna have some bad apples. You're gonna run into a piece of shit barista, some fucking coffee shops. You're gonna run into a piece of shit fucking manager at some establishment. You're gonna run into a piece of shit fucking valet attendant. It fucking doesn't matter. There are pieces of shit everywhere. There really are. You might run into a piece of shit dentist, a doctor, a fucking attorney. It doesn't matter. They're everywhere. Because they do exist. They do exist. But realistically, sometimes you just gotta trust people. Because especially if you're using a service where, if you're a passenger, you're a lot safer than a driver is. In my personal opinion. Why? Like I've explained before. I'm pretty sure I explained this before. Excuse me. Shit. So like I've explained before, you as a passenger, you're getting in a car with a driver that's had their background checked, that's had their fucking, not just their criminal record checked, but also their driver history And you're not getting in the car with somebody that's irresponsible, that fucking has a DUI, somebody that fucking has some type of aggravated fucking whatever the fuck, some assault or some fucking shit, any negative fucking mark on their record. So you're getting in the car with already somebody that fucking has all that shit. You're getting in the car with somebody that the service has their social security number, they have their fucking ID, their license number, they have every single thing about this person. As a driver, you don't get that same experience. Why? In order to use the app as a passenger, all you have to provide is some type of name, which you can make up. You can type in whatever. I've seen XOXO, I've seen 123, I've seen XYZ, ABC, every fucking thing imaginable. Right? And then there's the picture. Some people don't even have a picture. Others have a cartoon character. Others have some fucking bullshit. Others have some fucking image. You can't even tell who the fuck the person is. Sometimes it's a group photo of like 10 fucking people because people are idiots and they're like, oh, you're going to be able to see in that 1 inch by fucking, no, half inch by half inch basically. That's on your phone. Like you're going to be able to make out who the fuck the person is, right? So all we have is that, or all they have is that, and they have a credit card number, which can realistically be a prepaid card that you don't have any personal information attached to, that you could have paid for with cash. You can have some burner phone that you open fucking account with. It doesn't matter. Point is, there's not a lot of information that you're sharing as a passenger. Because why would you? If you're going to some other establishment, it's the same thing. As a customer, you're not providing as much information as the employees are. Not to say that we're considered employees. I know we're considered private contractors, whatever, blah, 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 fuck you, whatever. That's its own bullshit. But, yeah, it's definitely a lot safer as a passenger, as long as you're being vigilant and you're making sure that your dumbass is getting into the appropriate vehicle. Duh. Fucking shit. Duh. Whatever. But let's keep it on that positive note. Let's keep it on that positive note. Try to keep it on that positive note. But yeah, you definitely do think about that when it comes to passengers not being trusting and everything. It's amazing how many. Well, I guess I haven't really had that many blind people in my car. I've had a few, and there are a few of those that I've had in my car that actually do stick out. And well, realistically, anybody with some type of fucking disorder or some type of fucking hindrance, I guess you can call it, something that affects them, how resourceful they are, how fucking just normal people they are. I know that sounds weird as shit to say because they are normal people, but it's cool getting to talk to them and getting to hear their perspective on bullshit, because there are a lot of people that fucking treat people like that, fucking like a little kid, kind of like how fucking people treat old people. They treat them like a little kid. They're like, oh no, you can't lift that. Oh no, I got it. Don't worry about it. Go sit down. Go sit down. How they treat people, man. How people treat people is basically, I guess, this point of this podcast. We'll see what I call it. But, yeah. Basically, my point is that people need to, I guess that same shit that people say. People need to be kinder to others. They really do. Genuinely do. And you need to not just hear this and let it go in one ear and out the other. And I know I can be a hypocrite at times with this, but I try not to be. I genuinely try not to be. Occasionally, you know what? Some shit. It's just a bad day. I'm just having an off day. I don't mean to come off rude. I don't mean to come off mean. I don't mean to come off in any negative way. I genuinely don't. In my head, I'm having a fucking off day. I say something that sounds normal to me in my head, but because of my mood, I might have a frown on my face. I might have an inflection in my voice that I don't mean to have, but it comes across. So it happens. But the point is that I try to be as vigilant as possible and make sure that it doesn't happen. Obviously, like I said, shit slips through the cracks, but I'm getting better at it. Like I'm hoping other people do too. But yeah, man, just be fucking nice to people. You don't know what simple shit is gonna make somebody's day. You don't know what a few words are gonna do to help somebody. You really don't. It's amazing how some simple shit can just fucking change everything for somebody. Some shit that you didn't even think twice about. Some shit that was just normal to you. Like a tub of ice cream for that fucking lady. Or picking up the hat for that old guy. Or a fucking guy giving me a pep talk. Or fucking just sharing your story about your experience of your bullshit that's going on in your life. Or maybe something that's happened to you that really holds you back. That you've fucking found a way to go around. Found a way to work through. You know? Any of that can change somebody's day, somebody's fucking life. You never know. You never know who the fuck people are going to become. You never know what people are going to do. You might give somebody advice one day, fucking run into them later on. They recognize you. They're like, hey, you fucking changed my life. Maybe there's somebody close to you and you do something like that and they fucking remember it. And later on, when they're in a way better place, they try to pay it forward. Do that for somebody else. And then they come back and try to fucking help you. Pay you back for what you did. Tell you thank you. You know, it may not have meant a lot to you at the time, but 5 years ago, 10 years ago, I remember that fucking talk that we had when you sat me down and you gave me that advice. You know, the times where you didn't just carelessly ask how I was doing and not pay attention to my answer. You genuinely cared. You don't know how something's going to affect somebody in the future. Really don't. But that's the point. I'll stop beating this dead horse now. Hopefully you guys are still there. Still alive. All that cute shit. But anyway, I'll go ahead and call that a podcast for tonight. I appreciate all of you for being here again. And also, if you can, like, share, subscribe, all that good shit. It all helps. I appreciate each and every one of you, like I've said already. But yeah, until next time, peace.